level plains, and then we'll be into the Enterprise area in just a few moments. Our friend Jason is with us as well, worked for the City of Enterprise for a long time, and knows firsthand how this city will show up and show out for their hero in the next few minutes. It appears that we will be passing popular landmark, the Best Burger, which is up here on the left in the next few minutes. There's an inland gas station on the right as we come through level plains. There's a traffic light up here as well, so we might see a number of folks lined up on the side of the highway here as well. Brian is with us from Pensacola, tearfully watching in Pensacola, and our community is forever grateful for Ensign Watson's sacrifice as well. Level plains on display here. Fire department, police department, and the general community at large. A hero's welcome. I couldn't tell you how many folks live in level plains just off the top of my head, but I feel certain that that was all of them. Level Plains is a small community with a big heart, and there are a lot of people on the roadway in Level Plains right now. Population in Enterprise around 30,000. It's a smaller community as well, but a great and thriving city in Alabama, and just a wonderful place to live and raise a family, like the Watsons did. They raised their son in Enterprise. A lot of kids grow up in Enterprise with just a deep respect for the military, all of the branches, although it is home to an Army post here in southeast Alabama. But it is a home filled with great pride for the military as well. So we will embark down a pretty large hill here in the next few minutes. I'm just kind of preparing you for what's ahead, and you're going to see pretty steady traffic, I think, on the roadways for the duration of this journey here. This looks to be another bucket truck up here on the right with a flag displayed. So we will go down a pretty large hill, and then as we make our way back up the elevation, we will be into Enterprise within the next 5 minutes or so. And again, Mike Gerspan is expected to join us if the logistics work out for us. He will be with us at Searcy Funeral Home, Highway 167 North in Enterprise at Boll Weevil Circle. The processional, and I'm just going to talk to my guys in the booth here for just a second as well. Do we have that downtown shot in Enterprise launched and available to us today? So we're working on that. The Chamber of Commerce in Enterprise with a live stream this morning as well. I understand we're going to take that momentarily also. So we'll look in on their broadcast as well. Zachary says, my fiance and I are both from Enterprise, went to high school with Ensign Watson, and are sad that they couldn't be here today, and so this is why we're doing this, for folks like yourself who have a close and personal attachment to Watson, and for just the community at large. This is, like we said, the military is so strong, such a strong base, a passionate military base here in southeast Alabama and in northwest Florida as well. It just means so much to this area. Because, you know, for so many, their families are serving in the military. You know, all over the country, the United States, families are supportive and very much attached to the military and what it was for our country. But there is a deep love for the military in this area. Our friend Eddie says, rest in peace, hero. Thank you. Alexa says, welcome home, fine sir. Thank you for your protection and ultimate sacrifice. Jennifer says, my heart goes to his family. She's watching from Naples, Florida this morning. So welcome to all of you around the country. This is what you're seeing right now, a smaller community in southeast Alabama, Enterprise. Enterprise has a heart of gold and a strong, strong community. And what this vantage point is right here is just outside of Enterprise High School. This is where Navy Ensign Watson went to school. And really, from what we understand, we did not know him personally, but we've talked to a lot of folks who did and loved him deeply. This is where his love for the Navy and the military at large grew by leaps and bounds. And as a young man made the decision to go and serve his country, and serve it he certainly did. Jimmy says, salute from Virginia. There are more folks with us here. Abby says their heart absolutely breaks for this fallen heroes family. Barbara asked what our location is at the moment. The processional is making its way into Enterprise. This is a little bit north on that route, just north of the downtown area, as we are set and waiting for the processional to come through. If we can, let's maybe try and jump back to the processional just to kind of see the downtown area as we come back through. So what they'll do, they'll come to me as they switch shots, just really for to give you kind of a smoother transition there as we go back and forth. And I'm just, like I said, I've got Facebook Live here pulled up on our desk, and we're just kind of reading some of your comments today. Warren, who lives in Enterprise, says the game tomorrow will be full of fellow heroes thanks to all who serve. That Army-Navy football game will air tomorrow, and a lot of this community will be watching as our hometown hero will be recognized and honored in that game. Dolores says the hearts of the citizens of the town of Clayhatchee go out to the family. May you find comfort through our Lord Jesus. Steve says, please know that the hearts of all the United States Naval Academy parents are hurting for you today. Thank you for that, Steve, as well. Sarah says, rest in peace, honored warrior from Level Plains. This is the approach into Enterprise right now. We passed a couple of car dealerships here on the edge of town, and a lot of folks out in this area. And really one of the images that we've waited to see is this downtown area as we get into the next few minutes here. You just saw a little bit north of the downtown area near Enterprise High School. And as we pass on Main Street through the Boll Weevil Monument, if you have a chance to look that up, it's worth a read for you at some point. But the Boll Weevil Monument signifying the Enterprise communities overcoming great hardship. That's really what that monument stands for. Major agricultural community 100 years ago before it became a major military community, and went through some very tough times. Some powerful images as we pull into Enterprise. Enterprise Police, Enterprise Fire Department welcoming the hero home. We'll jump back to that shot in just a moment here as we making some changes upstairs. But we're getting ready, the processional, to pass through the downtown area, and that is definitely what we want to see here in the next couple of minutes. We want to thank you for, again, being with us this morning on dothanfirst.com and on our Facebook page as well as we approach the final destination here. And this is it, folks. This is downtown Enterprise. And what a scene. That monument there in the middle, for those of you watching around the country, that's the Boll Weevil Monument. It turned 100 years old on the 12th, which was, just 2 days ago. And so the city had been out to celebrate the centennial anniversary of the Boll Weevil Monument and what it means to the community to you know, to show that overcoming of adversity. And the processional, just minutes from this destination right here. This camera is courtesy of Boll Weevil Soap Company, which is a local downtown business in Enterprise, and of course support the folks that support us, and go see them if you have the opportunity. We want to thank them for helping us with this coverage today in downtown Enterprise as well. RJ with us is with us this morning, and let's see if we can pull up the full comment here from RJ. RJ says Watson jumped over his desk to fight the shooter, yelled for others to run. After being shot, he then somehow made his way, and I'm trying to get to the rest of this comment here, but that is one that we will, here we go. Made his way out to inform the first responders where the shooter was, gave them a description of the shooter. He truly gave his all to save lives and do his duty. He deserves more honors than anyone can provide. Semper Fi, brother. RJ, thank you for sharing that with us this morning. Obviously, RJ was around, potentially in the building as this occurred, and we're very grateful that you shared those words with us today. And RJ, we are Navy Ensign Watson's hometown, and proud of the hero that he is. And this is his welcome home in Enterprise. Thank you all for being with us today as well. And Debbie brought up a good point. Thank you to all the drivers who've stopped today on the highway to respect our fallen hero. Laura says her tears are flowing as we welcome this American hero home. And he's almost there. He's in his hometown right now and almost to that final stop today. Again, this is downtown Enterprise, Alabama, in Coffee County, southeast portion of the state. Beverly says, so young, so gifted, so dedicated, the product of a loving family legacy of community involvement. Jesus says, rest in peace with the angels. Catherine is watching from Panama City this morning with us as well, sending prayers to his family. Lisa says, welcome home this true American hero who gave the ultimate sacrifice for all of us. Thank you, Ensign Watson. We will not forget you. Thoughts and prayers are with his family in this time ahead. Rory's with us this morning from another great military community, Fort Bragg, North Carolina, who graduated a year after Watson from Enterprise. Rory, thank you for serving your country. We're proud of you as well, and thank you for watching this morning from Fort Bragg. Amy's with us from Lakeland, Florida, sending prayers. Fort Leavenworth, Tony with us this morning. Salute to your service, sailor. Prayers and condolences from the soldiers and families of Fort Leavenworth. Thank you, Tony, for being with us today as well. Kevin says, I love the Wiregrass community and how we celebrate our military and American heroes. God bless this family. Dustin and Misty this morning say, I can't imagine how hard this is for his family and friends. And it certainly is. But this show of support here certainly tells them that they are loved. This may be the most powerful image of the entire processional here. So I'll stop talking. We'll just watch. The salutes are up from military as the hero is in his final pace in his hometown. So that was the really one of the scenes that we've waited all day for, right here, as this processional continues to make its way through downtown Enterprise, Navy Ensign, Joshua Caleb Watson's hometown. We're about probably less than 2 miles from the final destination this morning, which is the Searcy Funeral Home, excuse me, on the north side of town here. Joe is with us, says, thank you for broadcasting, watching from Wichita Falls, Shepherd Air Force Base, Texas. We were residents of Enterprise for 7 years. Joe, welcome back home this morning with us, and we're glad to have you along as our heroes. Welcome back here to the Wiregrass. Laura says, welcome home, bud. I was born and raised in Daleville, watching from Eglin Air Force Base this morning. Apalachicola, Florida is with us. Opp in Alabama, Donaldsonville in Georgia, Fort Riley in Kansas. Thank you, Lauren, for being with us. Edward says, rest in peace, shipmate. Pat says, so proud of my hometown Enterprise for coming out to honor this hero today. Prayers for the family from Lunsford's Barbershop, Glover Avenue in Enterprise. That's from Christy this morning as well. We're approaching the midday hour, 11:46 local time here in southeast Alabama, the central time zone. Charles with us from Andalusia this morning. Excuse me, born and raised in Andalusia, watching from Las Vegas. Charles, thanks for being with us as well. We're going to switch up our shots here. We'll close out in the next probably 20 minutes or so. We do want to get that live report from our Mike Gerspan, who's on our team here at WDHN TV. We are located in Dothan, Alabama. And this is the back end of the processional where we're about to pass the Enterprise High School area. We do have a great shot from the Chamber of Commerce that we may switch to in a moment as well as we make our way to this area. Enterprise Chamber of Commerce also with a live stream this morning. We're just going to kind of take a glance at it as we move through as well. So we'll go back and forth as we move through those shots this morning. So we're just kind of reading through your comments, your tributes, and just sharing your comments as well. So this is just up the road at the high school, Enterprise High School, and we are losing signal, it looks like, as we get to that point. But we'll just switch back and forth to different shots here through the next few minutes. Coming up, we will talk with Mike Gerspan, who will be at Searcy Funeral Home. Will kind of guide us through that coverage there as the Navy sailors will unload the casket and move it into the funeral home as well. And so our producer this morning is Nathaniel Rodriguez. He's going to kind of feed me some information about the service that will take place tomorrow in the next few minutes, and I'll share that with you as well. Eric this morning says, Eric and Amanda say, thank you for your service. May you rest in peace. God be with and bless your family. Priscilla says, bless his family as they put this young man to rest at home. Robbie is with us from Northeast Georgia this morning. Thank you for Robbie for sending your prayers to Southeast Alabama. Patricia watching from Hartsville, South Carolina. Thank you, Patricia. Alicia is with us from Fort Carson, Colorado. We also have El Paso, Texas, that is with us this morning as well. And as we see these communities that log on with us, folks like El Paso, we from Southeast Alabama, and I'm just talking on behalf of the community that I live in, have been praying for your community as well, and what you all have endured this year. It's been a tough year for folks in El Paso. One of our sister stations is in El Paso in that area, and so you know, our thoughts and prayers have been with your community also. Excuse me there. We are switching to a different shot now. It looks like that stream has closed down. Again, we're in this home stretch towards the funeral home, passing the Enterprise High School, where a Navy Ensign Watson attended school. And look at that. One of the largest high schools in the state of Alabama. And there may not be a soul in that building right now. They're all on the highway, saluting a great American, a great Enterprise Wildcat, and welcoming him home. So we passed the high school area now, at which point the processional will come up to a traffic light here and take a right in the next few minutes. MJ is at Fort Rucker and says, "This makes my heart stop watching the hearse. God be with this young brave man who gave all for his country." Anna is with us, started watching at 7 a.m. in Hawaii. Thanks for being with us, Anna. A lot of folks move back and forth from Fort Rucker to Hawaii and vice versa, and in their Army military career. And so we actually have a pretty deep connection to Hawaii from here in Southeast Alabama. Elaine says her heart is breaking for the Watson family. We moved from Enterprise to Pensacola 3 weeks ago. Chad Martin with us this morning. I stood with thousands on Highway 84 near Level Plains. A true American hero. Another grand gesture here by first responders and Enterprise as well. If you look to the left side there, Enterprise Rescue, Enterprise Police, Enterprise Fire Department, and those who have served in the military will offer their salutes of respect and just a grand display of love today as they welcome him home. Jillian says, "Thank you for the live feed so that we could be a part of his procession all the way from Hawaii this morning." Another person watching us from Hawaii today. Thank you for being with us. Stephen says, "Hometown is Pensacola. So sad that this happened. Rest in peace until Valhalla," from Shepherd Air Force Base. Michael's with us this morning from Fort Stewart. Joy says, "Rest in peace, sailor." Amber, "Prayers to his family. Thank you for your service. Grew up and graduated from Enterprise, watching from Fort Campbell." Jamie's with us from Georgetown, Georgia, just across the lake there. Katerina says family is watching in Germany today, and that family knew him as well. We have some folks from Georgia again. Alan, Texas, with us this morning. Jenny was a resident in Enterprise for 8 years. Thoughts and prayers with his family. Celia says, "God, hold this dear family close." And that's what this community is doing that right now as well. And it's just an unbelievable display of love to the Watson family today. And again, if you're just joining us, it is not a warm day. The weather is not nice today. We're going to come back to the studio here for just a moment. The signal tending to fade there just briefly. We're approaching the funeral home itself, at which point the casket will be unloaded, carried by Navy sailors into the Searcy Funeral Home here in Southeast Alabama. Mike Gerspan, who's on our team, who is a veteran news reporter in this area. Mike's been covering the news in the Wiregrass, Southeast Alabama, for 3 decades or longer even. but he will be joining us in just a moment as we try to get some logistics moved there and set up, and are with us as well this morning. So Eric and Amanda say thank you for being live. God bless his family. Emmy says, my sailor's currently in Pensacola at NAS. Rest in peace and God bless. And thank you for your sailor service to our country as well. Enterprise natives, Aaron sending prayers from Fort Carson, Colorado. A good contingency of folks watching Fort Carson today. Our shot is back up now as we make that entrance into the funeral home off of Highway 167 North now. Glenn says, proud neighbor from Dothan, sorry for your loss. May the Lord love him and keep him. My dad and brother were in the Air Force. Renee is watching from Southern California. My son is on the USS Abraham Lincoln. Rest in peace, sailor. Renee, thank you for your son's service to our country. John's watching from Lakewood, Washington. Rest in peace, brother. Celia says, thank you for airing so that shut-ins could see our hero today as well. And that's absolutely what this is for. We are absolutely glad to welcome our hero home as well. And just kind of checking notes here this morning. The burial will be Sunday the 22nd, coming up next weekend for Ensign Watson of the Navy. Let's see, we're just kind of going through some more here. Samantha is watching with her daughter this morning in New York City. Thanks for being with us here in Southeast Alabama. Jan is watching from Troy University. She's from Enterprise as well, and we're waiting on our Mike Gerst to get set here in just the next few minutes. If I glance up, I'm looking at a monitor to see what we will be showing you in just a moment. And so pardon me for doing that, but we've been on air with this. We're approaching 2 solid hours now of our coverage this morning. We did carry an hour of this processional on television on WDHN TV 18. We're located in Dothan, Alabama. Just a short distance. Dothan is about a 30-minute or so drive from Enterprise, the hometown of Navy Ensign Joshua Caleb Watson. And Janet is with us as well and says prayers from all the Alabama moms of midshipmen, Navy servicemen, and Marines. Thanks for being with us. Zach's watching from Tampa today. Was in the JROTC with Caleb on the rifle team. He was an amazing person and incredibly dedicated. Thanks for sharing those types of stories with us today as well, especially if you had a personal touch with Watson. We of course want to hear that as well. Our staff, by the way, has done a phenomenal job here. We have upstairs in the booth today Jamison Glover, who's working with us, Steve Ellison, Casey Garvin, and Nathaniel Rodriguez behind the scenes here. My name is Ben Stanfield, and we have on the ground in Enterprise, who you'll hear from in just a moment, reporter Mike Gerst is with us. Also along the route, our 10 o'clock news anchor Paige Weeks was on the ground, photographer Matt Ray. Photographers Dustin Gilley and Blake DeShazo are in the processional and just parked. We're waiting on them to set up their next shot here of the processional into the actual funeral home. So that's what we're just kind of hanging with you here for the next few minutes as we await that point. Also on the ground today, Tanya Pruitt anchors Wake Up Wiregrass. Our morning broadcast was handling our coverage at the Dothan Regional Airport, where the body landed on a jet and was offloaded into that that hearse and then taken to Enterprise. So just kind of going through some more of your comments here, and as we talk with a lot of folks here. Deja says the Daleville JROTC were there to pay honors, and we cried. His mom saw us and cried with us. And Deja, excuse me, thank you so much for sharing that with us as well. Jackie is an Enterprise native, says, rest in peace, hero from Scott Air Force Base, watching this morning. Bubba says, rest in peace from Jasper, Alabama. RJ did want to clarify that he wasn't there when the shooting occurred. He was given some information about what happened. And RJ, thank you so much for sharing that with us. Though that is something that we did want to hear. Let's go back and show you some video that we had from downtown as the procession comes through. Again, I want to remind you about the service. 8:30 Saturday, December 21st. Visitation will take place at Enterprise High School. A memorial service will be at 11 a.m. on the 21st. So I apologize for having incorrect dates just a little while ago. This is video of the processional moving through downtown Enterprise just a few moments ago. Rhonda's with us from Fort Campbell, but has lived in Enterprise for years. Never seen a welcome home like this, Rhonda says. Enterprise, you did a great job. Debbie's with us from Houston, Texas, a former United States Naval Academy mom and mom of a Navy officer. She thanks Joshua for his service. Cheryl sending condolences as well today. Marie says, so very sorry, so proud of our hero. Katie with us this morning as well says, my fiance had the great pleasure of knowing Joshua for a brief time through mutual friends. He was one of the nicest and most kind-hearted people you would have ever met. Our prayers go out to him and his family. He is truly a hero and will never be forgotten. Yvonne says, thank you for your service. Rest in peace to our hero. Love and prayers from Central Coast, California. Yvonne, thanks for being with us this morning as we welcome our hero home in Southeast Alabama. Susie with us this morning from Pennsylvania. My son just left the naval base in Pensacola and is now in Washington. My son, Sean, is the same age as Caleb, 23. He stood watch also. My God, this hits me hard, and this should have never happened. May you rest in peace, Caleb, and you are a hero. Thanks for sharing that with us this morning, Susie, as well. Carrie's with us, watching from New Braunfels, Texas. Her sons attended the Naval Academy in 2018, sending condolences to family, friends, and fellow sailors. Heath sharing a note this morning as well. When the dark clouds of adversity are gathered around you and your heart is sore, your faith weak, and your courage well nigh gone, forget not that there are strong arms around you, true hearts upon which to rest, and tender sympathies from which to draw consolation from the past, comfort for the present, and hope for the future. Love to see the city of Enterprise rally around this family during this time. Thanks for the coverage today. Heath, we're proud to do it, brother. Thank you so much for being with us. If we have a shot, we'll go back out to it. We're getting close to signing off here in the next few minutes. So we understand that our live equipment is being set up, at which point Mike Gerspan is going to join us. And I expect Mike to offer some profound thoughts with us this morning as well. Mike, for lack of a better term, is very good at offering some very comforting descriptions of news events. He's seen the best and the worst in this area and is a true professional. Helen's with us from Annapolis, Maryland. Prayers from his Navy family. Thank you, Helen, for being with us today. Debbie says, welcome home from an Army, Mom. Prayers for your family. Rest in peace. Your work is done. We've got, like we said, quite a few folks with us again, and Ray Barfield with us. And if you don't know Ray and his wife Kelly's story, we'll talk about that again in a moment. Mike is ready now, and let's go to Mike Gerspan, live in Enterprise. Mike, good afternoon to you in Enterprise.
Okay, well, right now it's a very somber moment. We're outside Cersei's funeral home. The casket has just been brought through here. It should be pointed out that the students at Enterprise High School were allowed outside. They lined both sides of North Main Street to pay their respects. Probably several of the seniors probably remember Joshua as a student. Right now the casket will be brought out of the hearse, at which time the body will be in repose at that point. As far as many directions, we're trying to be as removed from the situation. We don't want to interfere in any way with the solemn moments that are taking place at this time. Once again, it was quite an emotional scene outside North Main Street as several hundred students paid their respect to the fallen sailor who gave his life and basically saved other lives by his actions a week ago. At this point, guys, we're just kind of in a wait-and-see mode as it takes place. And as you can see behind me, a lot of hugs, families, close friends of Joshua as they gather and pay their respects to someone who really, his life was taken way too soon. For those of us like at my age, kind of reminds me a little bit of JFK's funeral procession. I remember that back in the early 60s. Of course, he was a Navy man as well when he was slain by an assassin. We are taking, at this time, waiting for the casket to be brought out, excuse me, of the hearse at this point. At this, right now, I think I'm going to throw it back to you guys and see what exactly will happen, and we will be ready to break in once again of any developments. Back to you.
Excuse me. All right, Mike, thank you so much. Again, just kind of reading some notes here this morning. Nina says prayers for this family from another Navy mom, and sharing some of their notes on our Facebook broadcast here this morning. We mentioned Ray and Kelly Barfield just a moment ago. Another family who lost a son, and he was killed overseas serving his country. Lance Corporal Jason Barfield of the United States Marines, which was another day very similar to this one. Those are days that the community doesn't forget. Just the images of what we've seen. It's tough on the community to do this, but it is also comforting at the same time to everyone to know that you know your American flag on the side of the road, it means something and leaves a lasting lifetime impression on these families. And if you were to talk with Ray and Kelly about what they experienced in that ride, I think they would tell you the same thing. So they have moved the casket already inside this facility here. And so Navy Ensign Joshua Caleb Watson is at his final stop on this journey from the Dothan Regional Airport, where he landed from Dover Air Force Base this morning, from Pensacola, Florida, at NAS before that. Now at Cersei Funeral Home in his hometown of Enterprise, Alabama, in the United States of America. We're going to leave you now, friends. Thank you for being with us today on this 2-hour journey. We are going to again show you the flag tributes around town as we sign off and pay our respects to our hero, in the Wiregrass, Joshua Caleb Watson. God bless you. We're back at 5 o'clock with the news.